is, so you know how a lot of, not all gay people, but most of them, whenever they say they don't believe in God, and they use the primary example saying in the Bible that it says, basically same on same sex is wrong. It's the primary thing they use. And I used to think that was actually the only thing that like that it said about it, and that it's wrong. But I always thought, because my uncle was gay and believed in God, and it's actually not unnecessarily common to find people like that who believe in God that are gay, because there's people on campus that are so obviously there's something. And I realized this is probably obviously not the reason why they do, but what I didn't know is that there's actually another thing in the Bible that talks about that, and not just, like, there's more to it than that, not just that one line. And it says, "Do not be deceived, neither the sexually immoral," referring to the gay, "idlers, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality, nor thieves, nor the something I can't read, nor drunkards, nor rivalers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. And such were some of you, but you were washed, you were sacrificed, you were justified in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and by the Spirit of God." So basically, there's another thing that I didn't know, which talks about basically saying, yes, it is wrong, however, you have committed wrong as well, and that's why Jesus died. So basically, it's saying, yes, it is wrong, but you can still believe in God, and that it's a sin, and just has to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it talks more about it. It's not just it's an abomination and then ends it there. It talks, which I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. More. So Game of Thrones is wrong?
Game of Thrones, I'm confused.
Yeah, when they're like killing people because they're gay. Because like the Seven, like the religion, like they didn't like gay people.
Yeah, because it's the exact same thinking as slaves in all over the world. Primarily, I'm going to use the example of early America. Because there's slavers, were white, quote unquote Christians, but treated black people wrong. But obviously, the slaves, black people, still believed in God regardless, because they knew that, despite how their white counterpart at the time acted, that wasn't how Jesus acted. So obviously there was a reason for it, So you get what I'm saying? Like, there's of course going to be poor examples all around, but there's clearly a reason that they still believe in that. And I was watching a video the other day that was interesting. There was this guy who goes on college campuses and debates people on questions they have about God. So of course a lot of atheists or evolutionists ask them questions. And one of the things that he always talks about is the inconsistency of atheism compared to the Bible. For example, like, atheism says there's always a cause for something. That, for example, as the example he uses is that if me and you are walking in the forest and there's a ball in the middle of the forest, you don't just say, "Oh, the ball just appeared there. It just happened to be there." No, there's a cause for it, that it was that it ended up there. But they always say that there's an exemption to this, which is the beginning of the universe. That the Big Bang just happened. Like, that's the inconsistency that they use. They're like, well, everything has a cause except this one thing. And he says, well, if that's not true, because the Big Bang, clearly, if you're using that logic, that it had a cause, and of course he uses that as God in that sense, and also uses the example that inanimate objects can't give can't make animate objects. Or he's talking in terms of the evolution of like single cell. You know, they atheists typically believe in evolution, and that single cell evolves and blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, well also if you're using science as your basis, then science also tells you that inanimate objects can't give life to animate objects, which is basically completely debunking the evolutionary thing, because that is inanimate. And doesn't have a rational mind, doesn't have rational thinking, all that type of stuff. Which I've never heard of that argument either. Which I also thought was pretty cool. Oh my lord, I suck.
Yeah, very interesting.
Do you actually think it's interesting? I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was pretty.
I mean, I'm not like big into religion, you know. I mean, I believe kinda.
As a friend, I would highly encourage you.
You would what?
Highly encourage you to look into it, as it's my job as a follower. Try to pray once in a while. Watch a YouTube video on it every once in a while.
Yeah, but like, what if it's not real? Just like, what if?
I highly argue against it, primarily because of my own experiences. I'll tell you that first, and then I'll give you other examples, because obviously my own examples are not going to mean anything to you, because they happen to mean not you. But,
like, what are your examples, though?
So I had 3 that I think on top of the head. There might have been 4, but 3 that I can vividly remember. So one was when I was in 5th grade. I had just asked out this girl that, like a few days later, I just realized while dating, because, you know, we're in 5th grade, we're like 4 or whatever, that
4?
I wasn't ready to have a relationship because I wanted to go play basketball. And of course, she was a girl, so she was just like, you know, I'm like, no, I want to go play basketball. And I knew that was wrong, so I didn't want to break up with her because I was like, I'm the one that liked her first and asked her out. And here I am a few days later saying I'm not ready for a relationship, even though because I was at least mature enough in the mind to realize that I wasn't ready and that I didn't want to hurt her in that way. So I went home and I prayed and I, you know, told him the same thing that I told you, which is that, you know, I know it's wrong that I just asked her out and blah, 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 blah. And the next day, the first thing she said to me is, I have some news to tell you. And she said that she was moving in 3 days. And I think that was the first time, because my eyes just lit up. Because I mean, like, if you're going to use the argument, oh, well, it's a coincidence. I'm like, okay. The night before I prayed that, and the next day, when I said I didn't want to break up with her, she tells me that she's moving away, which is essentially, you know, easy way out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but, you know, sure, we'll use the argument that's a big coincidence, yada, yada, yada. The next time was, I think it was senior year, I think, maybe. It was a accumulation of, you know, first day of school, so it was like accumulation of course, first day marriage. At that time, I had first went through my last ex breakup, and she wasn't there junior year. But I happened to know that she was going to be back that year, and I, you know, I had nerves of like, is she going to be in my class? New boyfriend, of course, all that type of stuff. And I was just having a panic attack, essentially. So I was having a panic attack. I went to the library because I had AP class and we didn't have classes in the library. And something told me that morning when I first woke up, I just put a rock in my pocket because I just felt like, why not? It wasn't necessarily anything that told me to do. It was just like, why not? And then man, I'm really sucking at this game. I pulled something then when I was in the library, and I just kind of had my head down because I was really like where I had a panic attack. And something just felt to get it out. I don't know how to really explain it, just kind of like that thing, like, why not? And I pulled it out, and I just posted my hand, and I think I just in my mind said, help me. And I kid you not, like, as soon as I said that, it really felt like something went through me, and I'm not trying to sound like cringy in that. But it really felt like almost like wind went through me or something, and my mind just went completely blank. My breathing just slowed immediately, and I just had about 2 minutes of just nothing, which was very calming in a sense, just because of what I was just having a panic attack. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it wasn't until I went home that I was like, oh, I actually indirectly prayed when I said that. And that happened. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then the next thing happened was actually when I was in college. One night I was sleeping. And you know how like before you go to bed and you're just closing your eyes and may like daydream or something, like you might think you're fighting zombies or something, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So there was this certain village or something. I was just, in my mind, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was awake, just my eyes closed, trying to go to bed. And then I realized, I saw that again in my sleep. So I was, lucid, or I guess, is that what it's called? Lucid dreaming? I think that's what that's called.
I guess.
I forgot the word, but you're aware that you're dreaming. And I realized that I was in that same thing that I was thinking of before I went to bed. And I was aware of it. And when I became aware of it, the kind of like world just kind of like stopped. It was kind of like, frozen. And, I was walking around, and there was this certain girl that was on the side, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, and like wonder in terms of like that I was just thinking about this and that now I'm lucid dreaming in it. And the first words that I said were, dang, this must mean God is real. And then, I kid you not, as soon as I said that, that frozen woman snapped their head at me because they're frozen, and had yellow eyes, and then I woke up. And I think I really do believe that was a demon that was upset that the first words that I came out of my mouth that I was consciously saying was talking about God. I really do. Like, I really don't know how to explain it. Like, it was just like yellow eyes, and it was just freaky.
Yeah.
But I woke up instantly. And those were my personal experiences. My mom had one where our dog passed away. And she said she had a dream that they came and just said that they were, like, it just felt like they were coming to say they're okay. And of course, people that don't believe in God use that as it's very common that something that happened during the day, your thought process or whatever, can occur in your dreams, which is fine if you want to use that argument. But science also doesn't really know a lot about dreams. We don't really understand it, so you can't just 100% say that that's the cause of it. But I also like to use me personally, I like to use the example that think of you right now, like the real you that's hearing me talk right now, looking out of your own eyeballs, playing Minecraft or whatever you're doing, like the real you. To say that you're just here. Okay, I think that is insane that people think that they're just here and that they're gonna just. You get what I'm saying? Like the real you that's looking out of your eyeballs, your conscience, your whatever you want to call it. Like, that's actually pretty insane that you're actually looking out of your eyeballs right now. I think that's pretty crazy. And people dismiss that. And also, I mean, you have to think of stuff that's happened in your life that that's kind of meant to happen. Like, stuff that's bad happened in your life. You probably learned something from it, or caused you to push you to be who you are now, or including good things. Like nothing. I'm sure you can pull something from something that's happened.
Yeah.
So that's another reason.
I mean, me personally, like, whenever like shit like that happens, I just feel like it's just a way for people to cope with what happened. Like, shit, yeah, it happened, and you can say that it's God. Like, I know, my fucking aunt, back when she had, my cousin, one time, her my cousin, when he was a baby, he was choking during his sleep. He wrapped himself like in his blanket, and he was like choking to death. And her lights started flickering in her bedroom and woke her up, and then she noticed that he was choking, and she thinks it was God. I just think it's a way of coping with shit. Like, you just say it to make you feel better.
So you're thinking that the lights just happened to flicker, and she just happened to want to go check, is what you're saying, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Well, I would obviously disagree with that. But another argument... Oh, I just remember the fourth thing that happened. One time, me, my sister, and my mom were coming home from a weekend at our grandparents', and we just happened to get on the topic of God, and because my sister's very liberal, not like I'm a Republican or anything. I don't really have a stance or anything, but just in terms of like how the basic liberal looks, like, she's very, that type of person. We just happened to think, well, like, Morgan, you do believe in God, right? And she said, I don't know. And I kid you not, literally, as soon as she said that, we happened to pass by a road sign that said, it was a Fireball ad. And of course, their main thing is the devil. And it said, the classic class phrase, burns like hell, stuff like that. And I also think that was a sign. Like, of course, people are going to say, oh, it's just coincidence. I'm like, come on now. Come on.
But how can you not say that isn't just coincidence? Because you just drove past it,
because you have to think.
It's not like you dreamt it or you, like, noticed, like, something in your, like, mind. Like, it's not like Jesus, like, talked to you in your mind.
Because that's it. Because your exact argument against it is my exact argument for it. Because what are the chances that we just started talking about that, and then we turn over and look at it? Because, like, you have to really
apparently
think, what are the
pretty
chances
high.
Okay, so when's the last time you saw a billboard of a Fireball commercial just on the side of the road?
That's fair.
So that's your exact argument against it is my exact argument for it.
But it only happens. You only notice it when you're thinking of God. You can always just be like, I'm thinking of God, and then, oh, my Preds jersey, oh my God, it's God talking to me right now.
Why not? Why wouldn't that be the perfect example?
If you're not, I don't think so. I think that's a reason why it's not.
I think,
like, it'd be different. It'd be different if, like, your door started fucking opening and closing by itself, like, fucking randomly. Like, that's different. Like, hell yeah, I believe that's fucking God. Or if, like, some, like, beam of light starts shining on you. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty fucking crazy.
Well, that's also another thing that people use, which is that, well, if God is real and he wants people to follow him and stuff like that, then why doesn't he just show himself? Why isn't he just there? Because the whole point of faith is free will. Because he